Hello and welcome back to Up the Villa podcast. This is our Premier League prediction episode, week 5. So we're getting into the swing of things now. Before we start, let's have a look at the table so far. We've got Ben B at the top on 41 points. And then in joint third, we've got Marco, Super Sid, and myself. There we go. Right. There we go. Absolutely loving it in second place at the minute. I think if we can get in and around February, March time, then I'll have my eye on that number 1 spot if I can get there. So, right, let's get straight on in there then. So, hopefully you've all been enjoying our week's worth of content, opposition preview, predicted lineup, match preview. So hopefully you've all really enjoyed that. So let's go then. Let's go first up. We've got no Friday night football. So it's Saturday, and then we've got Sunday, and then we've got a game on Monday as well. So those are the fixtures that you're going to want to fill out for game week 5. So Wolves at home against Liverpool. Liverpool off the back of a 3-0 win against Villa, and Wolves off the back of a 3-2 loss against Crystal Palace. I think this is going to be a Liverpool victory. I think Wolves are still going to struggle this season. I think they picked up that really lucky win against Everton in the last couple of minutes. That I don't think they deserved to win that game whatsoever. And then they were sort of plucky against Palace, but didn't really show too much. So I'm going to go for a 3-1 Liverpool win in this fixture. I think Liverpool are sort of starting to turn that corner. Villa, we know I've already gone for a 2-1 Villa win on our Up the Villa podcast match preview. This is a right tough game next up now. We've got Fulham against Luton. Question, football fans, Villa fans, if you are just general football fans that are watching the game week predictions, how many points do we think Luton are going to get? Because I watched them against West Ham on Friday Night Football, and Carragher and Neville were outside the ground talking to fans, and the fans were like, you know, we're just happy to be it. It's been on a big journey to get, you know, through the levels to get to this stage. But they were talking about the atmosphere, and the atmosphere, I don't think it was that great. On that game against West Ham, against a team where you would look at, if you were as a Luton fan, you'd be looking at West Ham at home thinking, you know what, we can probably try and get something from this game. And the atmosphere, I felt like the atmosphere was really flat. It was quiet. All I could hear was West Ham fans. And I just felt like if that's a game that you think you can get something from, and I didn't feel like it was that intimidating watching it. I don't think they played that great. I really don't. I really think they're going to struggle to get 20 points. And I think the longer this goes on without them getting points, and it's a little bit like Burnley, the longer it goes on without getting that win, the more difficult it's going to get. You know, if Luton go another 4 or 5 games without getting a win, then I think they're really, really not going to get many points whatsoever. But that being said, Fulham, I don't think Fulham are that great either this season. I'm not really that convinced with them either. What did they do in their last game? They lost 5-1 to Man City. So I'm going to go 2-1 Fulham. I think Luton are going to score, but I think Fulham are going to nick it. This one, United against Brighton, I'm going to go. I went, and some of you will remember, what did I do against Brighton and Newcastle? What did I do? I went big, didn't I? I went big on Brighton to beat Newcastle, and Brighton won, and I'm going to do the same again. Brighton will absolutely tear through that Manchester United midfield. They will tear through it. I'm not convinced with Man United either this season so far. I'm really not. They've got so many off-field problems. They've got recruitment problems with players that just haven't worked out. I just don't get the vibe there whatsoever. So I'm going for a Brighton bold 3-1 win. Spurs against Sheffield United. Some of you would remember me saying that I weren't feeling Postecoglou at Spurs. And that looks like a weird statement now, but they have had a pretty decent-ish start. And I don't think they've been tested too much. But with that being said, they're at home against Sheffield United. And I'm going to go 2-0. I think this will be 2-0. We've got West Ham against Man City. This will be closer than what I think some might think. West Ham have started the season fantastically well. They weren't great against Luton, but did enough. I think we can expect a 3-1 Manchester City win. And then Newcastle, this is going to be a good one because Newcastle are on the back of 3 defeats in a row. We've got Champions League football next week. Brentford have started really, really well. Brentford can really frustrate Newcastle. So I'm going to go for a 2-2. So those are my predictions for Saturday. Sunday, we're going to go with... Who remembers Dyche? First game against Arsenal last season. Really good, weren't they? But this is a different Arsenal side now. I think they're more refined. And I think Everton are woeful in front of goal. So I'll go 3-0. Bournemouth against Chelsea. I'm going to go with a Bournemouth win. You know, they're going to get their first win. They're going to get their first win of the season. And then Monday night football, Forest against Burnley. Burnley not started great either. Pretty much a bit of a surprise, really. They've not won a game yet. But I think we know what Forest are like at home. So I'm going to go 2-1 Forest. So those are my predictions for this week. Hopefully I end the game week 5 on the top of the leaderboard. And hopefully we are talking about Villa victory over the weekend. So let's go Villa fans. Up the Villa.